Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this shadow box. So we're going to be going through everything from within Cricut Design Space to rolling all of the paper flowers that are in here to making the monogram in Cricut Design Space and then to applying it on top of the shadow box. So what you're going to need is a shadow box. I got this one just at a local craft store, I think at Michael's. If you can find them there on sale, that's going to be your best deal. You know, if you can get 50 or 60% off coupon, it's great. Or they also have them on Amazon, and I'll link some of those below, but they're a little bit more expensive. I am going to be using the Cricut brand 12 by 12 cardstock for all of my paper flowers. And then my Cricut Explore Air 2, you can also use the maker for this. And then you're going to need some adhesive vinyl and some transfer tape to apply the name and the monogram on the front. And then just some Cricut tools like your scraper. This is a quilling tool to roll the flowers. If you don't have one, you can also use tweezers. And this is a balling tool to help splay out the flowers, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay, so the first half of the tutorial is all going to be about the paper flowers, about how to get this design in Cricut Design Space, how to space them on your mat so you can cut out 4 of them at one time, and then how to roll them up and glue them on. And the second half we'll get back into Cricut Design Space and I'll show you how I made this monogram. It's actually a font that I found on a dollar deal from a website, and I'll link that below too. We're going to add the A in there and then putting the name on it, and then we'll go all the way through cutting it and applying it to the glass on here. So super great gift. This one I made for a new baby, but you could also make it for anniversaries, for weddings. You know, you could put mom on it for Mother's Day or home sweet home, or really anything for any kind of decor, retirement, you name it really. You can make a shadow box for. Okay, so let's get into Design Space. Okay, so I just wanted to show you within Cricut Design Space these roses that you can find. So this is the one I'm using, and you can go into images and type in, you have to type the number, type number M3D7E1 and search that, and right there you can see it. I have purchased it because it was actually a cartridge that I had a long time ago, but it should be part of Access there. So you're just going to click on that and insert the image. So you can see I sized this one to 6 inches wide. So when I do that for this, I'm just going to actually just come up here, delete that, and type 6 and enter, and it will keep it proportionate there. Okay, so that's the one I'm using. So I just wanted to show you when we go to the Make It screen how I put 4 of them on a mat. So I'm going to click up here on the project copies, up to 4, and click Apply, and you'll see that they come out on 2. I'm actually going to change this mat to a 12 by 24, and you'll see now that they're all down there, but I'm actually going to move these. And you see right like that they overlap. So I'm just going to actually grab this rotate tool and rotate this so they don't touch anywhere. Okay, and so I'm going to move this one up so it's above that 12-inch line there. And again, I'm going to grab this one and move it up and rotate that. Okay, so that's above the 12-inch line. So that way it saves me from loading paper. So I'm just going to be using a 12 by 12 mat. I don't need to change anything, and just putting a piece of 12 by 12 on it there. So when you click continue, I'm going to put my Air to cardstock on the wheel and start cutting these out. So I'm going to need 25 roses. So I'm actually going to cut this out 7 times, because there'll be 24, then I need 1 extra. So I'm just going to keep repeating this same mat over and over. So with 7 different papers, and then we'll start rolling. Okay, so once they're all cut, you're just going to peel off the excess, which I think is super cool because it all just pulls up. Okay, and to get them off the mat, you can either use like your scraper and go all the way through. You know, depending on how sticky your mat is, they should come up pretty easily. Or you can peel it from the mat on the back side there. Okay, so you can see I've cut out a lot already. So the next thing we're gonna do, this is an optional step to actually kind of roll the back side of them. And if you can kind of see, these are different sizes. So this is one I didn't roll, and it's still super cute, but you can see the edges go straight up like that, as opposed to these ones just have a little flare. They kind of stick out just a little bit more. So like I said, totally optional step. And you use this that has, I don't know what it's called, a baller or something that has this ball on the end. And I like to place it just on the back of this. It's pushy, and you're gonna push on the outside of it. So mine has a little texture on the front side, so I can tell it's the front. And this is the way you're gonna start wrapping it. So you want to make sure it's on the back side, and then I'm just going to go through and just quickly kind of just push on those outside leaves there. Okay, keep going. Sorry, you can probably hear my dogs playing in the back. It's not the kids, it's the dogs during these crazy times with everyone home still. Okay, so now we're going to flip it back over and we're going to roll it. And I'm going to start with putting this is a quilling tool. And hard to see, but it has a little hole right up in here. So I'm going to stick that actually right on the edge of this. And then I'm just going to start rolling it. And you can use tweezers or something too. And just keep rolling. And once I get a little ways, I pull it out. And then I just do the rest with my fingers. And I just keep rolling it like this. Little dog patter. Okay, so once you get it all the way around, so when everyone's a little bit different, depends on how tight you want these rolled. You know, if you want them super tight. So this last one is the one you fold down and you glue. So obviously you can leave them super tight like that, but I like to turn them over and just let them open up a little bit like this. And then I'm going to flip them back over. So I might let mine spread more than others. So this doesn't cover the whole back side. So I'm going to just put some tacky glue just on that last circle that's there. And I'm going to press it down right in the middle. So it covers most of that, and then I actually turn it over and kind of press there and just kind of, if I can, spread these out a little bit more. Okay, so that's how I make the flowers. So I'm just going to keep on making them until I have 25 on here. Okay, so now that I have all my flowers rolled and cut out, I'm gonna glue them to the board. So I'm just gonna kind of move them out of the way and start with the middle. So since I want this one exactly in the middle, I'm just gonna measure where the middle is. And the ones in the middle are actually going to be behind the words, so they're going to be the ones that are hardest to see. So I'm actually kind of place them which ones I like the most. So just going to start gluing them down. We'll do these ones first. Try to get them in straight row here. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going and gluing them down until I have them all in place. And you can probably use a hot glue gun for this too. I just had this out. Then just trying to align them to the one on the top and the one on the side. So, and it's also going to have to fit inside. Oops. This. Okay, so I'm going to speed up the video because this part's kind of boring just to watch me do this. Press down well. Okay, so now let's work on making our monogram in Cricut Design Space. So this is the one I am using here, so I'm just gonna quickly show you how to do it. So this monogram is actually a font I bought, and I will link it below. I think when I got it, it was on sale for $1. So I love it, super cute. So I'm just gonna click on the text box over here, and I'm gonna type in A. And then up here, I'm going to type in monogram and just click my system so I know they're my system. And this one is actually called Monogram Classy. And I am going to use the Classy 2, which actually separates them. If I click one, you'll see that it just is one whole thing. But I actually want the two different sides because I want to make it a little bit bigger in the middle. So I'm just going to come back up here and click the Monogram Classy 2, and you'll see it just does the top one. So that was when I did an A. So now when I go in, I'm going to do another text box. And if I do Shift A is where I get the top, the capital A. If I just do a regular A is where I get the bottom. So I'm going to bring both of those in, and I'm just going to make them both the same length. So this one I see the width is 4.229. So I'm going to click on this one and then just type 4.229 on here. Enter. Okay, so now I have these two. So now I'm just going to type the name. And honestly, this is what takes forever for me to choose. So I'm just going to click on text to add another text box. And this was actually called library. Go into all. So you'll see library 2, and this is actually a Cricut font. If you have access, you can get it. So I'm going to use that and then just type, do all capitals and type Amara in. Okay, and then I'm going to move that over here and just keep resizing it. And I can move this, since they're separated, you can make this gap as big as you want. So I kind of like it like that. So then I'm going to use my cursor and put a box around all of them and actually come up to the align here and click center horizontally. So now they're all centered, and now I want them all together so they cut out exactly like this. Okay, and then I'm going to come down to the bottom right and click attach. So you'll see they all change colors, and now they are all together. So now I'm just going to make it, I think I sized this one to about, and this is personal preference on how big you want it. You can see here I sized it to 6.14. So I just kind of kept dragging it and added it. So if you want a way to cut it out easily, I did not do this. Cut it so you align it. If you enter a, let's do a square here. And our square is, our glass is 8.5 inches big. So let's make that 8.5. Okay, and let's just make this white. And then I'm going to move this to the front so it's in front. And then I'm actually going to use my cursor and select both of these. And then I'm going to align center, center. Okay, so that's right in the middle. And so I'm going to actually put, I'm going to bring in just a couple more little squares here. And I'm going to align that right up in the corner there. And then I'm going to duplicate this 4 times. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this here. And then move that over just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to align these 3 to the bottom, just so they're on there. And then these 3, I'm going to align them to the top there. Okay, so now I'm going to click on my square, and actually I'm going to hide it over here. So I'm just going to come over and click that. And now this is the only thing left on my canvas. So I'm actually going to come up to select all. And now I'm going to attach these. So now when we go to cut it out, we'll have these little squares that we'll remove after we align it. But this just helps you align it exactly on the glass, so you don't have to do as much measuring as I will be doing. You'll see me measuring it. I don't always use these things, so I usually just cut it and try to measure it with a ruler. But this is a good way to just get it easier to align to the corners right there. Okay, so then when you go to make it, you'll see it's like that. And then I'm going to continue, and on my Cricut Explore Air, I'm going to set my wheel to vinyl, and I'm going to cut this out of adhesive vinyl. So now I'm going to weed off the vinyl. Okay, so this is what I'm going to put on the glass. With some transfer tape. Okay, so while these are drying a little bit more, I'm going to put the name on the glass. So, just going to make sure it's clean. Okay, and then I'm going to apply my transfer tape to it. So I'm taking off the paper on the back side. And just going to lay it on here and use my scraper. Trim the edges so it doesn't stick to everything. I'm going to scrape it down well. Both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of tape on the top to hold it down. So it'd be probably easiest if I actually made a square and put some points and cut the vinyl out of that. So it wouldn't be so hard to figure out how to center it. Okay, so now it's where I want it. I'm going to flip this back up. And then I'm going to actually pull this off. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it down, try to just push it straight down the glass, and then use my scraper to scrape it down. You can remove the blue tape here. Okay, and then I'm just going to remove the transfer tape. Okay, so there we have the front of this. I just need to be careful of this glass. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in here. And then I'm just going to clean the back while I have it opened. Not squished. Then gonna get it all in there. Okay, and then I'm going to push down all the sides and turn it over. And there you have it. Just going to clean kind of the front just around, make sure all my fingerprints are off. Okay, so that's how you make a shadow box with all those rolled up Cricut flowers in there. So if you like these videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any more, and have a great day crafting.